When people are charged with a crime, they need a lawyer. What we're going to do for them is help them understand the process, help them develop evidence to refute the state's version of what happened. Talk to them about where there's exposure and where there's not. Not every criminal case goes to trial. Many of them don't because maybe the client did do something wrong, but they didn't do what the government says they did. Or there's reasons that they did it that the government doesn't understand. It's my job to help formulate all of those things together into a strategy so that the client has some comfort when they go home that there is a path out of this problem. And ultimately, that's what you need a lawyer for, and that's what I hope we can provide to clients in those situations. I don't remember ever deciding to be a lawyer. My dad was a lawyer, and I always saw since I was little the security he gave, obviously me and my sister, but that he gave everybody, my cousins, my aunts, my uncles, family, friends, and then obviously later on I realized that to his clients as well. Just a certain strength he had as a problem solver, and that was just something I knew, right? And it was only till later in life that I realized it was because his personality and the strength of character that he had, but because he was a lawyer, that gave him different rights and opportunities to help people, and that's what was so just awesome. And I think that's why I wanted to be a lawyer. I'm passionate about criminal defense because to me it's just the perfect example of the little guy fighting against the government. And that's what it is. And that ultimately is what I think I wanted to be as a lawyer. There's lots of types of lawyers and some don't want to be that way. But I want to be that way. And there's just nothing better than being in a courtroom and realizing it's just little old me and the resources we have and the work we've done against the government. And often with that comes police officers and 2 and 3 prosecutors and paralegals and assistants. It just, to me, is just thrilling. It's just thrilling. Some of the strategies that we use in criminal defense that I think are unique, we just make a concerted effort of trying to look at all the facts. And in almost every case now, we try to use an investigator because an investigator is just a tool that levels the resources between us and the government because they have people out there interviewing and inspecting and visiting scenes. And lawyers can't be meant to do that because lawyers can't testify at trial. So you have to have your own resources out there, your own investigators out there looking at the scene from a defense perspective, talking to witnesses from a defense perspective, and looking for defense evidence that the police may have not even considered. So I would say the first thing we do is consider that from the outset so that we're trying to level the playing field in a resource perspective. And from there, we look at all of the elements of the offenses from the beginning, lesser included offenses, jurisdictional issues. We try to look at all those things to not only create a defense, but to develop leverage in case there has to be a question of plea negotiations at some point in time. Criminal cases can be emotional. They're obviously emotional for the clients and their families, but they can be emotional for the lawyer as well. We obviously see cases from our perspective, and after doing the work, we ultimately have to make judgment calls and help clients understand the risks of trial. And look, those are human affairs. You're going to make a gamble along with the client on how a potential 12 people on a jury and a judge are going to view your arguments, the evidence you want to present, the strategies at trial, your openings, your closings, all those different things. So it is an emotional project. And you really have to just stay focused on designing a strategy, following your formula, doing the work so that you know when it's time to have your trial, everything that you could have done has been done. And that allows you to eliminate a little bit of the emotions and then just do the work.